It's been quite some time since I last updated you on my Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive. To be relatively exact, it's been 9 months, almost hitting 10 months, since we upgraded from our Tesla Model 3 to this Berlin Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive. And in that time, we've had the long-rumored refreshed Tesla Model Y touted as being just around the corner when I initially bought this car. And reality is that deliveries of that rumored refreshed Tesla Model Y have literally just begun, but as Brits, we have to wait until June, and this beauty will have been, 1 year old around that time, but with a few brand new legacy Model Ys dotted around and a whole host of used Tesla Model Ys on the market. After 9 months of ownership, are there any sort of nagging issues? Have I noticed a difference in range and efficiency from summer to winter scenarios? What is battery degradation looking like? And finally, is it worth considering a Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive like mine even today to other drivers, whether that be new to EVs or just in general, or even Tesla owners today? Is the legacy Tesla Model Y a good value buy? Therefore, this is my new Tesla Model Y review, 9 months worth of ownership. So if this video sounds like an interesting insight, do buckle up, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Finally, do hit that notification bell. Right, let's get deep into this one. So first up, let's talk about battery degradation, as that's a super hot topic on EVs and Tesla Model Ys, particularly of age and more in the cold. But because I don't always like to keep people hanging on to the very last moment for some of the best bits of the video, here is golden nugget number 1 about battery degradation. My 2024 Tesla Model Y here has the Cattle LFP battery, similar to the one found in the new refreshed Tesla Model Y. Now, this Model Y battery is not the supercharging unicorn Model Y rear-wheel drive from Tesla's Giga Berlin factory. They actually built 2 different Model Y rear-wheel drives, the difference being the more common Cattle battery that I have, and then a more unicorn BYD blade battery variant. That variant has a super impressive supercharging experience. With that said, based on my experience with my Model Y, any and all LFP powered Teslas are literally insane when it comes to this one thing, but it does have one little Achilles heel, but I'll come to that in just a second. That one significant thing about having an LFP battery powered Model Y is that the battery degradation doesn't seem to want to degrade to the point where having 100% state of charge is the same 244 miles on the computer when I first picked up this beauty. That's right, next to no degradation. Now, I knew that was going to be a strength before I actually bought the car, but actually hearing the degradation fact and then actually experiencing it, reality does hit you differently for sure. Lucky for you, this battery chemistry can be found in both the Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive and the Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive. But I want to put on the record that these battery packs are no joke. And when it comes to durability, and they are a really attractive selling point for first-time EV owners too, when it comes to practicality, that's not just on the durable point. But typically, when charging an EV, you are advised to charge to 80 to 90% for daily driving. With LFP powered EVs like my rear-wheel drive Tesla Model Y, charging to 100% weekly is what the battery actually likes. Super easy plug and play experience, not complicated. So great for, say, first time owners and probably some of you senior folks out there. And I do look at my analytics and I know some of you meet that criteria, so I know you're out there. In terms of transparency on the negatives, or how I prefer to put it, the Achilles heel of the battery pack, and I'll come on to real world range next in both winter and summer conditions. The Achilles heel of the LFP battery definitely does lie in the battery pack temperature. Summer, autumn, spring, you won't really notice it. In plain speaking terms, the battery pack works best in mild to hot temperatures. It's not like it doesn't like winter, nothing like that. It's just you need to ensure that you warm up the car via the phone app or schedule it to be warm each morning to get the best out of the battery pack in winter. Because if you don't, then you can still jump straight into your Tesla Model Y in the winter and drive, but the regenerative braking will be non-existent, which, to be honest with you, does happen a lot with other battery types too. It's just that warm up in colder conditions, it does take a little bit longer, but that preheating process, which also warms up the cabin at the same time, is then a natural request to do in winter, so preparation isn't really going to be out your way at all. But I did want to highlight to you that warm-up can be just a little bit longer with LFP powered Model Y, so just preheat to be that one step ahead really. So touching on efficiency and range, how have I found it? Well, I picked up the car in late spring and ran it through summer and autumn, and the lifetime efficiency was around 240 watt-hour miles easy. In summer city driving, getting 5 miles per kilowatt hour was also pretty achievable, for which is pretty wild considering the size of the car. Driving longer distance in the summer, I got 235 to 240 watt-hour miles in a road trip with a weekend of luggage and the whole family in the car. You can't really get more real-world representative than that. And I'll probably link to my video on that if you're interested in getting the full details of that trip. But the car in these conditions, it works incredibly well. In the winter, when the regenerative braking takes some time to get near to full capacity, and with extra energy being used to heat the car more, this does admittedly take a toll on the efficiency as expected, but that lifetime efficiency has notched up to 260 watt-hour miles overall. Therefore, averaging at say 250-ish watt-hour miles with a 60 kilowatt-hour pack, getting that quoted 244 miles is pretty achievable across the year, and with just city driving in warmer to mild conditions, I think you could actually achieve more. So how have I then found it? Surplus to requirements, to be honest. Even for a one-car household that does very little supercharging, I got the rear-wheel drive Tesla Model Y, knowing that home charging would be my friend, but when we did need to supercharge, the supercharging curve on this is actually no slouch. It really does hold its own up, despite not being that unicorn BYD variant. Moving on to what I have enjoyed most about my upgrade from the Model 3 to the Model Y. Well, what I have really enjoyed most about this vehicle and what is the most underrated feature about this Tesla Model Y. So firstly, there was a few points on why we moved to the Model Y. If you're interested in fully understanding why, I'll actually put that video on the screen now. But in a nutshell, as the family and cargo is getting bigger, for practicality, this all just made sense. I mean, for cabin space, for the front and the rear, the hatchback boot, that just made sense. Therefore, from a practicality perspective, I think it's well documented that the vehicle does achieve them goals. But what have I really enjoyed most about this new Tesla Model Y? Well, the seats are way more comfier, it's a notch firmer than our old Tesla Model 3, and it's all thanks to Giga Berlin's revised design. The upgrade to the latest AMD MCU means I'm not missing out on any of the latest software updates, same as what is actually found in the new refreshed Tesla Model Y 2. And combined with the Hardware 4 and AI 4 cameras, I mean, the car itself really feels like it's been future-proofed somewhat, particularly with FSD capabilities. Even without FSD enabled, the camera clarity is noticeably sharper when reversing. And talking about parking, I haven't missed parking sensors on the Tesla Model 3 still. I found outing with Tesla's parking assist with just the cameras has been incredibly accurate and easy to adapt to. I do like the parking bay visuals, they've been a cool little addition too over the sensor alternative. But if I was to say one upgrade that was really underestimated, or one that I really did not truly anticipate, that has to be the sound, isolation and the premium sound system. Now, we do actually have acoustic glass all around this Tesla Model Y, and we have Tesla's full premium sound too. And it's actually a shame that the new Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive doesn't come with the same sound system, as the sound does sound pretty incredible, and I'm no audiophile by any means. So before we round up on my conclusion on if I would recommend buying a Tesla Model Y today, how much is the new Tesla Model Y going to set you back, and how much does it typically cost to charge? Charging from home will get you the best rates, so I'm getting under 2p a mile here in the UK. Therefore, in a rear-wheel drive Tesla Model Y, a full battery can cost as little as £4.20. That will see you cover, 240 miles, and potentially even more if you're just doing city driving, as I mentioned earlier. But if you're flirting with the idea of possibly buying a Tesla, new or used, is now a good time to buy. Well, I've made multiple videos saying this new legacy Model Y, like mine, will get increasingly harder to buy. Now, the refreshed Tesla Model Y has taken over, so there is a good chance by the time you actually watch this video, you'll be after a used Tesla Model Y. That said, if you are considering any Tesla, always use a referral link like mine in the video description below for extra money off, and that's including inventory models. But in a nutshell, as I said before, I've got hardware for FSD hardware, same entertainment computer, and the premium sound package in this legacy Tesla Model Y. So 2/3 of these can actually be found in the refreshed Tesla Model Y, yet the financial incentives at this moment of time, they're going to favour the new legacy of Tesla Model Ys to just clear out all the stock levels. So Based on my pleasant experience with the Tesla Model Y, it's really hard to beat on value alone at the moment. So to conclude, in a nutshell, the 2025 Tesla Model Y is one hell of a car. This made in Berlin beauty was refined from the 2020 variants through many different builds over the years. This has meant that this version that I own today, it packs in all the family practicality that I was after, but with a finance deal that was just hard to resist. The battery pack is a workhorse. You don't have to worry about it degrading over time thanks to the LFP Tesla Model Y, even 1 year on, which is historically the worst time for degradation, by the way. So the position that I'm in today has come at quite a surprise, to say the least. For clarity, the refreshed Tesla Model Y is a beast and is the better car. But really, technology side of this car is pretty much on par with that upgrade. Yes, I know that the refresh does have better suspension, the rear passenger screen and the better sound, isolation, etc. There's quite a few all-round hardware improvements that I won't have, I understand that. But this 2024 Berlin build has been incredibly good to me and the family. It doesn't feel or behave dated in any way, it's holding up the good fight, and with software updates, I will get that new car feeling from time to time, as Tesla owners typically know. So there we have it. What do you think to the Berlin Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive today? Would you buy one? Or do you prefer to hold out for the refresh when the finance offers do finally come into play? Let me know in the comment section below. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and do take a look at some of the links in the video description where you'll find some handsome discounts, should we say. You folks have been great, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.